I feel like, first of all, these queue times are absolute ass. I just sat in queue for 40 seconds, by the way, but uh, I feel like I'm one of the very, like, few tens, possibly ones of people on Earth who honestly hates games like this where we're top tier because there's just fuck all to actually do. I mean, sure you can beat up on some tier 6s and tier 5s, but like what's the fun in that? Like you don't actually have to work to do well. Whereas if this was a tier 9 game, I actually would have to engage my brain and not play like a fucking monkey. I just find it a lot less rewarding being top tier, but whatever. It's an unpopular opinion, but whatever. I'm just not going to go on about that. No carriers is always great. Scharnhorst, who's blacklisted because, of course. Zara Sap could be nasty. Chumfon, I'm not too worried about as long as I don't get too close to it. Akatsuki, Grom, Icarus, and Minakazi for destroyers. Of those, I tie the conceal of the Akatsuki. I outspot the Grom by like a negligible amount. And then the Icarus and Minakazi will both outspot me. Actually, by quite a fucking bit. Holy shit. I didn't know Minakazi detection got that low. I thought it was like 5.8 or something. Well, damn. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Other than that, though, no radar, because this is unfortunately a tier 7 match. Not that there's no tier 7s with radar, but we just don't have them in this game. What captain is this? This is not the captain I remember having on this ship. I could have sworn I had demo expert and I was saving up points to put into superintendent. I I don't even know if this is the right captain. It might be, but I don't think this is the captain I had on here. Okay, whatever. I guess the crew mutinied and threw the old one overboard. You are being hard spotted. That is by either the Minakazi or the Icarus. There's the Scharnhorst. He did not shoot at me. Okay, it is going to be the Minakazi. Let's see. And the Icarus is also over here. Yeah, that double fire. Interestingly enough, that Minakazi's not smoking up. I'm gonna have to just accelerate out of the way of these. I'm gonna slow down, and we're just gonna smoke up. I do not want to get shot at here. New Mexico salvo, I think, should be slightly long. Yeah. There we go. That Icarus is right in my mouth. There's also a Yudachi playing grab ass on the island with the Helena. That's always fun. New Mexico's not really playing to be a threat. Our New Mexico is behind a fucking island, so take that for what you will. Can someone delete this cruiser, please? Fucking, that's not what I wanted to hit. No dice on those torpedoes. It is an Icarus, though. It has the same Hydra that I have, so that's not really that surprising. So now there's a cruiser pressing W. Hard pressing W, hello. Into a fucking Abruzzi, a Munchy Munch, a Scharnhorst, and a however the fuck that's pronounced. He's a very brave tier 5 cruiser player. Let's see. Scharnhorst is getting somewhat farmed. That Agano, well, I mean, it's a fucking tier 5 cruiser that just pressed W into like 10 ships. Is that really a surprise that he's already, well, yeah. I'm honestly surprised I had to be the one to put him down. I would have thought for sure that, that one of those battleships or even the cruiser who has a much higher rate of fire than the battleships would have finished off like a 500 health cruiser, but no such luck. That Icarus is going to slow down and smoke up, so fair enough to him. He made the right decision there to just slow down and not take that fight. Just like me, he does not have a heal, so he does not want to trade HP when he doesn't have to. So fair enough to that Icarus for smoking up. I like that. He had a fairly fast reaction too. He's not too bad. Well, I mean, I say that. He could still be bad, but that could just be through luck than judgment. But you never know. Maybe he's somewhat decent. Because he, like I said, he did have a pretty fast reaction. So, you know, fair enough to him. And, well, he is bow in, which is never in a position you want to be in. So, well, okay. Maybe not. But still, give him the benefit of the doubt. Now there's a KGV, like, right there. I'm not gonna have torpedo angle on that, which is a little unfortunate. Whatever. I'm just gonna launch that off just to get that reload going. I think that KGV is turning hard in. So those torpedoes are most likely going to miss because I thought he was going to try and make a break for that island. I might get lucky with the one if he's slowing down enough to, which it looks like he actually is. Yeah, we do manage to clip him with one at least. So Mackinson pushing in here as well. This KGV is dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. His DCP is down. He's low health, and there's a shit ton of ships over here to farm him out. So this KGV is no longer a threat. So I'm going to turn my attention towards this Mackinson. I'm going to try and aim my fire towards this guy's bow. Since the bow is the thinnest armor on his ship, that's where I'm going to get the best pen damage. I could aim for superstructure here. I could also aim for upper belt. If I can actually fucking aim at all, for one thing. But the upper belt and the superstructure are both going to be really annoying to hit, because the superstructure can get saturated, albeit not really against armor piercing. And the upper belt, I honestly am not positive I even have the pen to do that, because these are 120mm guns, so they don't have a lot of pen. So I'm honestly not sure if I can even pen the upper belt with the armor piercing, just due to the light nature of these shells. And there's a Scharnhorst right there. We're just gonna casually open water a Scharnhorst, don't mind me. I actually don't think I have to. He did shoot at me there, so I can just smoke up in his face now. Go. Wow, those Scharnhorst secondaries are actually nastier than I remember them being. I thought Scharnhorst 43 was the one that was supposed to have the good secondaries. Guess not. I guess the Scharnhorst are just German secondaries. Gonna throw up Hydro because our Munchen person does not have Hydro. He chose hold on, did he choose Def AA? No, he didn't. Well, he did, but I don't know if it has access to Hydro or not. Which I'm assuming it does, because that's like the typical thing, is the Def AA and the Hydro both share a slot. But for some reason, this fucking idiot decided that he's going to use Def AA, which I'm one to talk, because I have Def AA on my kid instead of Speed Boost, but whatever. I'm so fucking used to playing Star Rail, where so the key to bring up your cursor in game is Control, right? And in Star Rail, that key is Alt, which is right next to Control, unless you have a Windows key, which my keyboard does, because you know, that's like a standard for most full-size keyboards. But I've been playing so much Star Rail where that Alt is the key to bring up the cursor. And so when you see me do like these huge ass movements, that's me like trying to move my cursor somewhere to point at something, and then realizing that Alt is not the key to bring up the cursor, it's Control. And then I just constantly have to kind of get used to each one as I play each game, and then by the time I stop playing one game and start playing the other, I've built up enough muscle memory that I immediately go to the wrong key. I honestly should just rebind one game to have the same key as the other, but I'm lazy as shit, and that takes effort. And I don't want to have to rebind whatever else I might have to change if I were to do that. But whatever. Akatsuki and Grom are the only destroyers left. I mean, there's a Chump Fun over there, but I don't care about him because he has other things to worry about than me. Our Mutsuki has other things to worry about than that. Well, not really. That Grom's not pressing W at him, probably because there's an Arizona right behind him. But Mutsuki could have problems here, so we're gonna go try and help that guy out a little bit. Akatsuki, I don't know where he is. He could be trailing that Arizona, or he could be with a Grom. Honestly, either or. I can see both of those being the case. Never mind. There is an Akatsuki right fucking there. That is interesting. Alright. Where'd the Grom go? I'm actually really curious as to that. Most likely torpedoes heading off through right here, although I think if there were going to be, I would have spotted them by now. So there's probably not. Yeah, I do think if there were torpedoes coming through here, I would have spotted them by now. The Grom is not trailing the Arizona, which is interesting. Just gonna cap this real quick, and then we're going to go and try and greed for this Akatsuki here, who is currently spotting that Munchin over there, and is currently trying to gunfight that Munchin. Hello? Hello? Shots? Don't mind me. Akatsuki insta-repped that. There goes the... there's the fucking Grom. Hello? Alright. I have to smoke up here and go dark. And we're gonna get into a position. We're gonna try and slip into this channel to dodge torpedoes from the Grom that are gonna be coming this way. And then hopefully we can kill off this Akatsuki while we have this island in between me and the Grom. Those shots look overled. No. Oh, nay, never mind. We're not gonna get to kill the Grom, which is unfortunate, but whatever. That was a 13-minute game. Well, okay. Do we want to take the risk and play another game? I mean, this game sucked mega ass because we're top tier. I mean, well, I'm not even live. I can't even put it to a fucking vote. Okay, fuck it. We're getting another one, and if it sucks, then it can't suck any more than that first one did. We're gonna have a 2 games 1 video special going on today, featuring carriers, everyone's favorite mechanic in the game, and submarines, everyone's second favorite mechanic in the game. And we're gonna sit in queue for another fucking 4 hours while we wait for a game. Which, this is something that, that a lot of people talk about is, oh, why can't wargaming put in, like, skill-based matchmaking and shit like that? And I'm not going to get too much into that argument, but for one thing, is a common argument against the skill-based thing is the queue times. But the common counter to that argument is the queue times are already fucking tragic anyway. Which, by the way, they actually removed the limit for how long you can actually be sitting in queue. Mainly, I think, because of super carriers, who usually sat in queue for like 30 minutes to an hour, waiting for another super carrier to queue up, and then that's how you get these like 3v3 queue dump style games with like one super carrier in each team and then just a couple of unlucky bastards, and then it fills in a 3v3. That's how you get shit like that. But that is a special case because those are like tier 11 ships. So of course they're not going to be getting played that much, and super carriers at that I think are even more expensive to run than normal carriers, or other super ships rather. So not many people play them. But this isn't even tier 11. This is tier fucking 7. And we just sat in queue for like almost 2 fucking minutes. Was that 2 or 3 minutes? I wasn't even paying attention. Whatever it was getting close to the mark above. But it was like something 54. I think it was 1 minute 54 seconds, but whatever. We interestingly did not get a queue dump, which is honestly surprising considering that queue time. Let's see here. Shokaku. We're top tier again. Or no, we're not top tier. There's a fucking Shokaku. What am I saying? There's a Shokaku. No radar. Trento, Sap could be nasty. Oland, Destroyer, Akatsuki, and Yudachi, and a U-190 to piss me off. Honestly, I would have preferred there to be some tier 9s in this, but this is at least better matchmaking tier-wise than the last game. No radar, again, is fine. Trento, Sap, and the Oland are the two main things that I'm worried about. That Destroyer division could be nasty depending on how many pairs of hands they have between them, but given that they're divisioning an Akatsuki with a Yudachi, I'm not too stressed about that. U-190 is going to be annoying as well, but I'm also not too stressed about it. I do have my British Hydro to help me out here. So, I think what I'm probably going to do is we're going to play for B initially and see what happens, really. Going to dip our toe in the water just above B and see what tries to bite it off. The Oland is spotted over there, which is good for me because that means I don't have to worry about those super fast, annoying torpedoes. And I don't have to gunfight an Oland, which is always a fun day when you're in a Jervis, not having to gunfight tier 8s. Although gunfighting tier 8s isn't unwinnable as long as you're sensible about it. If you have like a good position, you're in a kite away position, or you have your smoke available, you can reasonably pick a gunfight with a tier 8 or even tier 9 destroyer as long as you have at least one other ship to support you and spot for you when you smoke up, because your British smokes do lend you a lot of ability to pick these kinds of gunfights, because you're just always going to be able to smoke up in their face. And speaking of smoking up in their faces, this Oland is very brave. There's a Trento there. And I cannot aim for shit, hello. His engine incapacitated. Alright, once we have this capped, I'm not going to keep shooting at the Oland. I do not want to be spotted in front of this Trento over here. And there's also the possibility of this Shokaku coming over here and griefing me with planes. And I don't want to give him a reliable target to aim at. What I'm trying to do is just stay dark until he enters my air detection range, and that'll give him the least amount of time possible to actually line up a drop. Of course, he's just going to drop fighters, because, of course, carriers. They are fighters, though, so I'm not too stressed about it. Were those Turpitz shells? I think those were. That was, I could have lived without that, but it didn't do too much, so we're okay. There's some marine pings over there. Oland is still alive. No, you have to remember, the Oland, I believe, does get the heal, yet. It's not like the British where you don't get the heal until tier 9. The Oland gets it at tier 8. We are also spotted. So there's an Oland in our mouths. And he did shoot, but there is unfortunately nothing around that can spot for us. We're just gonna have to try and disengage right here. Alright, of course, here comes the fucking carrier again. Those might have actually been Colorado shells earlier. Huh. There's the Olin torpedo. Or at least one of them. I honestly wasn't expecting that Olin to pop up right there. I thought he was gonna be playing for A, but I guess not. Alright. The annoying thing right here is that spotting is a very big issue, because if I were to check this Oland right now, which I in fact am about to do, the only thing that could spot for me is my carrier. So if I were to smoke up, I'm going to be heavily reliant on this carrier to spot for me. Which he is actually going to be so courteous as to do. Alright. So, the reason we're having to rely on the carrier right now is because when we look at the map, as you can probably deduce, there is not really a whole lot of friendly ships around us. Well, really, there's no friendly ships. There's not even a friendly ship within gun range, which is 11 kilometers in all directions. So I cannot pick a fight with the... Okay, so we're going to assume this Olin is full health, for one thing. I can probably fight him now that I have a pretty sizable health advantage on him, even though he will get the first shot or two off, just because he's stealthier than me. Well, never mind. If I were to check that Oland, and I smoke up, as we saw, that Oland immediately went dark, because there's no ships that can spot for me, even though he shot. And keep in mind, the European gun ranges are pretty short to begin with. So it was really difficult to try and smoke trap him, so my only option was to fight him in the open, which is something I didn't want to do. Well, our carrier did help us quite substantially there. And this Yudachi immediately smoked up, which, fair enough to him. I wouldn't want to gunfight a Jervis either in a Yudachi. This Shokaku looks like he's still right behind the island. Oh, there's a fucking cruiser right there. That's not ideal. I might have to smoke up here just to avoid getting shot at by this cruiser, and I guess also these battleships as well. That is a that is a KGV who is most likely having HE in the barrels as well, which also doesn't help. Though his guns are not pointing in this direction, which is also helpful. We could go for the Shokaku here, but I think our play is most likely... I honestly think the game is going to be over by the time we even get to the Shokaku anyway. So I think we're going to turn our attention to this KGV. And we're going to try and get our farm on this guy. Hopefully at least one person is generous enough to time extend for us. So we can get a little bit more. But there goes the Akatsuki. It doesn't look like any of our team is in immediate danger of dying. Except maybe the Nuremberg, because there's a Colorado and a KGV. Well, I mean, only the KGV looks to have shots, but... the game is about to end as soon as this KGV dies. So it really doesn't matter. Unless, like, the Colorado dev strikes this North Carolina, who, by the way, is still broadside. Nope, the carrier's gonna die, and that's gonna be game. We sat in queue for 2 fucking minutes. And we got a 8-minute game. That is fucking tragic. I mean, I'm not even gonna say anything about that. So that is going to be enough for today. If you wonder why I don't play tier 7 and below that often, just here you go. I don't think I need to elaborate any further. So on that note, that is going to be it for today. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I will not be uploading, but I will be uploading for the 4th. I might do something special there. We'll see. Yeah, just that is it. I will see you on Thursday.